Welcome to CityBiz, end of September 2019. I'm your host, Melinda Arndt, here with Councilman Michael Halley. You might notice I have come up in the world. I'm in an elevated position standing on a little height enhancer, being a vertically challenged person. And the surprise is now I'm eye to eye, almost taller than Michael. So we might be cracking up about that throughout this session. But welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
Nice to see you eye to eye.
See you eye to eye as well.
We got some fun things to talk about. We're going to cram it in here in the minutes that we have. And we wanted to start off with, I saw an article in the paper recently, those of you who see on your interweb or in newspaper sources, Fairfield was redesignated as a great place. And we had that designation for quite some time, since maybe the mid-2000s.
Yeah, I think it was 07 or 08 we first got it.
Yeah, and then at some point, I guess they want to, either you stay a great place or you don't. But we have made the grade, thanks to a lot of different organizations in the community working together, getting that application in.
Yes, so the initial application involved our arts and culture, our sustainability, our fine dining, these kind of things that were really our brand between 2000 and 2010. And what's great about Great Places is it's not just a feather in your cap and a little bragging point, because we were one of the first cities to be designated. It also comes with grant opportunities. So that's very helpful when you want to do some community improvement projects that are definitely wants rather than needs. Nodes downtown were built in before 2010 using Great Places grant funds. So the reapplication narrowed the focus a bit to our downtown. Oh. So it has to do with installing some alley lighting, maybe some artwork in alleys, maybe bringing back the lights along the top of the buildings around the square for Christmas, or just kind of see the whole silhouette of the buildings. So it did involve the Chamber and the First Fridays, Cultural Alliance, the city, and the Visitors Bureau. So we tried to stick in some wayfinding in there, which we're going to talk about here in a bit. And I'm not sure if that made the cut, but some of the other potential grant opportunities are there now that we've got redesignation. So city will take full advantage of those opportunities when they come to do some enhancements.
So Fairfield's a great place, yay!
Yep, still a great place.
Still a great place. And along those lines, other things that might make us even greater or might enhance our great place status are kind of on the agenda to talk about today. I've seen a lot of buzz on mostly on the internet and Facebook dialogues back and forth about one-way streets, two-way streets around the square.
Yep. So the Public Safety Transportation Committee met on Monday, and that was one of our agenda items. It's been talked about for a few years now. So a bunch of different organizations that the city partnered with through the years have recommended that we make that change to our downtown streets from one-way to two-way. And the reasons are they all say the same thing, just say it in slightly different ways. It's visitor friendly. So people who want to come to your town and spend money in your town, you want to make it easy for them to get around. And since 84% of the county seats in the cities in Iowa with squares have two-way streets, we're in the minority. And so people coming from out of town don't expect it. They don't expect that they can't turn onto Court Street from Burlington and go down that street from that direction. So it adds to confusion, it adds to extra driving time. So if you have to go a long way instead of a short way, that's obviously more chance for accidents, more chance for crashes, and it wears out on our streets. So, if you have to go 6 blocks instead of 1, because the one-way streets don't allow you to get where you're going, that's just more wear and tear on our streets. And so there's a pedestrian and cyclist safety aspect that one-way streets, and the reason they were converted one-way back in 1967.
Thank you. That's the magic number. I've lived here over 30 years, and they've always been, so it's 67.
67 was that Parsons College went from 1,000 students to 5,000 students by the mid-60s. So the city was responding to a lot more drivers, young drivers, and fast cars. So they converted 55 blocks in the city to one-way.
Wow.
And then after 5 years, they converted all but 9 back to two-way. And then if you look at the ones they left, basically downtown, you can see that I need to try to find somebody who was there in 72 to confirm this, but they left the streets where the stripes on the parking would have to be changed. And perhaps that was the reason they were left, is because it's tedious. It's not, I wouldn't call it an expensive thing. It's just, it's maybe the technology that at the time it would have been expensive to change the direction of diagonal parking. All the other streets they put back had parallel parking, and so I think those were easy fixes. So since '67, the downtown has been one-way.
Yeah.
One-way streets are great for moving traffic. If you get somebody in front of you pulling out, you just go around them.
Yeah.
So you can move more quickly, but that's not what you want for your downtown. What you want for your downtown is slow traffic, because there are so many pedestrians in that area. You want slow traffic so that they notice what's happening downtown, look around, and you want ease of access to your downtown businesses.
So would the speed limit change around the square?
No, it'll still be 25 miles per hour.
But common sense.
Yeah, so the proposal is to leave Main Street because of certain technical issues, but to convert 3 blocks of Court and 3 blocks of Broadway back to two-way, which is what they were pre-1967, since the 180 years of city's history. Before '67, they were two-way, and they functioned just fine that way. They were designed that way. So it's not a big deal to put them back. It's not like we're trying something that had never been done before. And the budget came in half as high as what it was projected initially. So $150,000, now it's $74,500. And it's just restriping. And some of the nodes would have to be slightly, some of the
they stick out
tips
in
of
the
them
road.
would have to be put back, and that's very minimal. So that's what's being discussed. There is a presentation the Wayfinding Commission put together. It's on the city website. If you go to the home page and look in the news section, you'll see a link to it. And it shows the historic aspect. It shows the reasons why so many other cities have done the conversion, why we could consider it. And it shows the scope of work and the budget. So that's available. Now is the public input period until November 12th, when the council will vote whether to fund this project with the funds that are already in our budget for this fiscal year, or do something else with that $74,500.
Okay, so people can find that on the City of Fairfield webpage?
Yep.
Great.
Cityoffairfield.com.
So you can go there and have a look if this is of interest to you, or if you just want to see the diagram of what it would look like.
Yep. So the inner 2 lanes would stay the way they are. So the 2 lanes on the inside closest to Central Park would stay the same both directions. So that allows delivery trucks to use that middle lane as they do now. The Central Park wouldn't be touched in any way. Like no change there. Basically, we're just restriping.
Huh. So, okay, anyway, that's where you can find the info, is at the City of Fairfield website on that.
Yep.
Which is, now I know we have other roads and street things to talk about too.
Well, a couple of downtown projects. We saw that the kiosks at the Wayfinding Commission and Visitors Bureau worked to put up were installed. Now they're gone. It's because the company made a goof. So they put both the downtown maps on one and both the citywide maps on the other one, when it was supposed to be each one had
both sides.
Yeah, and if you look, the one that says "You are here" they put it at the wrong location. It's one of those things. So those have gone back. They're going to get fixed, and the city may look at raising them a little bit to make them a little bit taller, easy to read. Okay. So.
Well, I'm glad that was noticed soon enough. I mean, that's why
right
now
away.
You see them, now you don't, because "You are here," what? That would not be so good.
It's very confusing to have it that way. So those will get fixed, and then we'll get them reinstalled. And then Petra Park, quick update on that. Thursday, September 26th, or Friday, the 27th, the crew is scheduled to come in and remove a bit of the
rubble?
The foundation under the terrazzo. So the terrazzo is that surface that's there.
Okay.
And that was checked for asbestos, no asbestos in the terrazzo. But there was 2% asbestos in the insulation underneath. And there are only a portion of the park that has any need to remove that, and that's the east side and part of the north side. It's where the irrigation will run. So the crew will come in and do that. They don't need to tent the area because it's such a small amount. And just so the public knows, the only danger with asbestos is while it's airborne, which is while it's being cut. So when it's sitting dormant, it can't hurt you. And so they'll just do it as per federal law, take that, bag it up, take it to the landfill, and then from there on, none of that foundation will be disturbed. So no more asbestos.
Cool. And then we'll see more progress on
right.
Petra Place Park, which is, I see people talking about it on social media, and I have people asking me too, what's going on there?
Yeah,
There's
so that's,
nothing happening there.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, there is something happening.
But the contractor did build some of the wooden structures in their Des Moines warehouse space.
Okay.
So those will be moved on site, pre-built. So there's progress, just we're not seeing some of it.
Yeah. Cool. So that may yet be ready by the end of the fall. We can still enjoy it. We'll see. That's Petra Place. And then, well, I have interest, I suppose we all do, and eventually it will happen or not, the possible roundabout down by the Jefferson County Health Center.
Yep. So the Highway 1 improvements from Fillmore to Libertyville Road, changing from 2 lanes to 3, adding a 10-foot trail on one side and a 5-foot sidewalk on the other. The design team has finished their traffic study of the intersection of Highway 1 and Libertyville. They've talked to the Trails Council, they've talked to neighborhood builders who are developing on the east side there.
Yeah.
And they will bring a recommendation to the City Council. We have a work session. So a work session is where you can discuss things, but you can't vote. So the council will have a work session between our October 14th and 28th council meetings. So I have a work session on the 21st. The engineer company will bring their findings. On the 28th, the council will vote as to what type of intersection and where the 10-foot trail will go versus the 5-foot. So basically the design. However, our vote is merely a recommendation. The DOT controls that highway and they're funding almost all of this improvement. They make the ultimate decision. So even if the City Council said we would like to see a roundabout or we would like to see traffic signals, the DOT makes that ultimate decision. So that's the schedule of events. So we'll find out by the time we do our next CityBiz, the council will have voted on at least the city's recommendation.
So that's to be coming up. Meanwhile, talking about events, we've had some neat events, and there are more neat events coming up. This is Fairfield. There's always something, but the showing of Dick DeAngelis and company's latest film, of which Jason was an integral part. Huge success. Those of us who couldn't make it really look forward to another showing. Well,
I won't give anything away. It was incredible. I mean,
I was
watching
it,
and it was the third in the Fairfield History series. Fairfield Productions is working on, and it felt like something you would see on the public TV. Like something,
a well-made documentary.
Yeah, it was well-made, well-edited. The historic photos were fascinating. Hearing from some of the old-timers was incredible. I mean, these are people who are alive today, who lived for a long period of their lives with no electricity in rural homes.
Isn't that something?
Things that you just don't even think about with the way that we have the modern conveniences. And just the evolution of farming, it starts with the Native Americans, brings it up all the way to current. So
I hope the rest of us will get a chance. I think we will.
Sure there'll be other showings. Hats off to the production, it took a team and it showed just such high quality. And that's what's really impressive about Fairfield is we are a small town, but we do things like a big city sometimes. We really did a great job with that. So Jason, everyone, good work.
Yeah, I hope it does make it onto public television. Meanwhile, upcoming, we have Oktoberfest Art Walk. I happen to be on that committee, so I'll give that a plug. The weather's looking good so far. Wiener dog races will happen.
I was going to ask if the Wiener dog races were.
Yeah, all of that good stuff. So.
All right, the running of the Wiener dogs. It's a historic event in and of itself, right there.
Yeah, and we also just had the Kids Day Parade, which rain or shine, and it was raining off and on. And the pancakes, of course, that's in a tent. You didn't have to get wet eating the pancakes, but
they persevered.
What troopers! Everybody trooped on.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the Oktoberfest. It's always one of my favorite art walks or First Fridays.
Yes, and our last really good outdoorsy one before the weather starts turning on us. So come on out to that if you can. We are, of course, taping this segment in the beautiful Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. Ambient noise courtesy of Noontime Diners.
That's right. Wouldn't be the same without them. That's why we like to be here instead of it stuffed inside a studio. This is real life Fairfield right here.
Yeah, so, and this way we can give you eyewitness updates on Petra Place. If we keep on filming here, it's right outside the window.
Nothing happening currently.
Yeah, so this is City Councilman Michael Halley, like myself, Melinda Arndt, citizen at large here in Fairfield, standing
extra
very large
today
on my platform. Thanks for being with us for the September 2019 edition of CityBiz. See you soon.